everybody, and welcome back to another One of Everything Wednesdays. I am your host, MrBevers. That's right, we're back again with MOZ Magic. Right, we have 10 tournament packs left out of the 18 that Mo had at his shop. My goodness, there was 18 of them, so we've done 8 so far. We've got 10 more to go. We're doing about 2 per week, mainly because when I open these up, when we get to some of these older ones, I just might not know what's in the set, and so I'm going to look at stuff and be like, oh, that's cool, this is neat, art on that is really cool. The sets where I have played them before, I get rambling a lot. I apologize in advance. The video might seem a little long. It's not intentional. It's just that I like to talk about Magic. It's just how it is. So I hope you all enjoy. Bear with me, please. I really want to get through this. Mo is a phenomenal shop owner. Just absolutely does everything he can for his community, which is awesome. And thankfully he has all this product that I can show off, which is pretty cool. So we're going to do Odyssey and Invasion this week, and then, I mean, we've got some pretty sweet ones near the end here. Tempest, Mirage, Ice Age. If you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm opening up one of everything that Mo had in stock. That's what this series is all about. And by that I mean, I normally do booster packs, but Mo's store was so unique that it actually had 18 unique tournament packs as well. So I was like, you know what? Mo brought it up as an idea. He was like, you could totally do this. And I was like, I could. And that's like a once, it's not going to happen. There's not many stores out there where that kind of thing's going to happen. So let's do it. Let's do it. So let's get right into it. Everything we open in this series that's over $1 goes into our patron pile. If you don't know what the patron pile is, essentially it is a pile of cards where all of my patrons at one of my Magic tiers or higher essentially get one of the cards from that pile every month that they roll over. So the first month you become a patron, you don't get anything from the pile, but the second month you do, and the third month you do, and the fourth month you do. So every month you stay on, you get something from the pile. The pile can have anything in it from $1 to, you know, basically about $20 to $30. And then I have like a grand prize pool that one patron every month gets one card out of, and that's the cards that are like 40 or more. So all the cards of value get given out. Like, it's not, I don't keep the high-end stuff for myself. They get given away to my patrons, because without them, I wouldn't be able to keep doing this stuff. So thank you so much to my patrons as well. Let's get right into it. These two. Stack these up like this. We can do stacks of 4 now. Seems good. Put those over there like that. Odyssey first. Let's put those there like that. Now we've moved back into sort of the realm of there's no inner packaging, I believe, on these. So let's see if we can get this open. Maybe? There we go. There we are. It's out of the package now. No longer... Oh, this one has an inner pack, so there you go. So, interesting. The one of the 2 that we opened last week didn't have an inner pack. So they obviously, like, made the change sort of, like, in the middle of this stuff. This one has a nice little pull tab. Look at that. It even works beautifully. There it is. Of course, we got our lands here. I don't know, like, again, they change the order on this stuff all the time. So I have no idea where the rares are, where the foil is, if there is a foil kind of thing. Sometimes the foils are at the back of the lands here. There are some cards here at the back of the lands. I don't know where the lands end and where the cards begin. Let's see. Okay. Those are the lands. I don't know what any of this is. Okay, so rares, 1, 2, 3, and uncommons. Looks like that's basically what that is. Is that? Oh, okay, there's our foil. And that's our uncommons. And these are going to be our commons. Okay. Whew. Man, they really muck up the order of these things sometimes. It's quite different. Okay, so let's take a quick look here. We get like a little pamphlet here. It looks like a little like survey, like fill it out. Yeah, it's like a little survey. Tell us what you think. And you can fill it all out and mail it into them. 2001. I wonder if I should, like, fill this out and mail it into them. That'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Oh, the other thing we've got is of course, the thing that we normally do, which is... Let me just open this bad boy up here. And while that's loading, we'll get this going here. Let's clear that out. So we've got, of course, next step tournament play, and it kind of tells you about, like, you know, where you can find out more information about it. It's even got, look, like helplines and stuff that probably don't exist anymore. So I bet if you call these numbers, they probably don't work anymore. Same with the email addresses, probably don't work anymore. I know they've done away with a lot of that stuff. So anyway, of course, on this side for Odyssey, we've got the rules set, the rules insert, which is like the flashback is here. So most of you know what flashback is nowadays. If you don't know what flashback is, flashback essentially allows you to play a card from your graveyard for another cost. So once it's in your graveyard, you're able to play it again. Generally speaking, this happens on sorceries and instances, and that's it, like an instant or a sorcery. That's basically where those normally happen. There are occasional cards that are not just that also have some sort of, like, not necessarily flashback specific keyword, but like something similar. Then, of course, we've got Threshold. The Threshold is essentially if you have X number of cards in your graveyard, you have Threshold. And I believe it was 7, right? Yeah, you have Threshold as long as you have 7, as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. So, of course, Werebear is the example they put on here, which is a 1/1 for 2 that makes a green mana, but Werebear gets +3/+3 as long as you have Threshold. Okay? Symbiotes. You'll find over 20 creatures in the Odyssey set with activated abilities that let you discard cards to pay their activation cost. They're nicknamed Symbiotes because they work well with the Threshold mechanic and can feed them cards from your hand to both make them stronger and help you reach Threshold. Interesting. So Symbiotes isn't even like a keyword. It's just something that they nicknamed the cards that let you essentially toss things into your graveyard, which is interesting. And then Filterlands. Filterlands were in Odyssey. I didn't know that. So there you go. The Odyssey set contains 5 non-basic lands called Filterlands. Each has an activated ability that can play to filter 1 colorless mana into 2 mana of an allied color pair, such as white-blue, black-red, so on and so forth. The 5 eggs in the set are artifacts you can sacrifice to draw a card and produce mana in allied color pairs. So there you go. Looks like they really only added 2 new keywords to this set to try out, which is totally fine. That happens quite often. So, mountains, swamps, islands, plains. Ooh, that's actually quite beautiful, that forest. Ah, there you go. That's the one, right? Is that the one that everyone's looking for? I think it is. Let's see. Is that the one? There it is. $2.36 for that plains. Foil copy of that plains is worth I don't know how much, but probably a bunch more. Did we get more than 1 copy of it, or did we only get 1 copy of it? Let's see. Ah, 2! Alright. Sweet. So, I don't know, I'll send a message out to my patrons. You guys, most of my patrons are probably watching this video. Leave a comment below in this video, or let me know on Patreon whether you think I should include these into the patron pile or not. They're over $1, which is generally what our rule of thumb is for putting this stuff into the patron pile. But, I mean, they're basic lands. So if you guys don't want that in there, because it's not, like, that interesting, then let me know, right? Doesn't matter to me. I'll put them in, I won't put them in. It's up to you guys. All of you out there. Okay, so then we're into commons. Now, in the commons, I believe there's only 1 common in Odyssey that is worth $1 or more, and that's Moment's Peace. So we'll just kind of take a quick peruse through the commons. Abandoned Outpost. We'll put the lands off to a different pile here. Whoa. There's a foil common randomly inserted in the foils, or in the commons. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So immobilizing ink in foil. That's interesting. I didn't know that that could happen. That's kind of cool. Halberdier. Nantuko Disciple. Innocent Blood. Haven Flock. Touch of Invisibility. Hey, the Werebear. Stubborn Salmon's favorite card. There you go. Right there. Filthy Cur. Ember Beast. Syncopate. That's pretty sweet art for Syncopate, actually. Leaf Dancer. Mystic Zealot, or Zealot. Earth Rift. Repel. Last Rites. Timberland Ruins. Tremble. Crozen Archer. Crypt Creeper. Embolden. So there, you can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's like a little gravestone in the top corner here. Let's see. Yeah, so you can kind of see there's like a little gray mark there in the top corner. That's the flashback. That's the old flashback notifier. It's like when it has that gravestone in the top, it means that you can do something with it from the graveyard. Scrivener, Druid Lyrist, Mind Burst, Mad Dog, Peek. Oh, just let me take a little peek. Just let me peek. Just a little peek-see. Wild Mongrel. This has seen a lot of reprints. Ah, okay, so now we're moving on to uncommons. So now the uncommons in Odyssey, or is this Odyssey? Yes, Odyssey. There's quite a number, actually. We've got Price of Glory, Sadistic Hypnotist, Cephalid Colosseum, Standstill, Buried Alive, Druid's Call, Predict, Squirrel Nest, and Dwarven Recruiter. Painbringer, not one of them. There's a Standstill, so there you go. Nice little uncommon hit. Put that into the... That'll go into the patron pile for sure. We can put the foils over a little bit farther, I guess, right? So that way we have a space for the rares and stuff. Demolish. Roar of the Worm. Concentrate. Lava Blister. My goodness. What a name of a card. Twig Walker. Doesn't sound very scary. Just a Twig Walker. Soul Catcher. Another Bird Soldier. Nice. Hey, Sadistic Hypnotist. That's another one of the ones that's on the list. So there you go. Sacrifice a creature. Target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. Play this ability only anytime you can play a sorcery. Sweet. And then we're on to rares. Okay, so not bad. We hit 2 of the uncommons worth money. So I mean, like, already we're at like 12 bucks adding to the patron pile supposedly with just the planes, the Standstill, and the Sadistic Hypnotist. So that's pretty cool. So we've got Need for Speed. I don't know if this rare... Like, I'm just going to scan all the rares because I don't know if they're worth anything. So that's 43 cents. So it's like sacrifice a land, target creature gains haste until end of turn. Doesn't seem that bad, but I mean, like, if you don't have a lot of lands, I guess it could be terrible. Divert. A 1-mana blue instant that says change target of target spell with a single target unless its spell's controller pays 2. Hey, we got an Iridescent Angel. This is like... So Divert's $1. So there you go. That'll go to the patron pile. Iridescent Angel is like one of the first rares that I ever remember like building a deck around back in the day. And like, I mean, like I built a lot of decks, but this was one of the ones that I got it out of a pack and I went, ooh, that's kind of cool. Protection from all colors. Interesting, interesting. 5 mana, eh? Or 7 mana, eh? I guess I got a ramp to that. So there you go, 91 cents for that one. Not so great. But we do have another foil here. So that's weird. We got 2 foils out of this pack. And this is a foil rare? Is it a foil? It's a foil uncommon? Still Life? Yeah, Still Life. Uncommon. So we got 2 foils, which is kind of cool. 49 cents for the Still Life. Sweet. I mean, I'm not, that's pretty cool. We didn't hit any of like the top end rares. I don't know, like, are there? Let me see. Is there like a whole bunch of like crazy rares in this set? No, there's. I mean, there's a bunch of rares over $10, but like, you know, there's not a whole bunch. Bearscape, man, that would have been the one. Bearscape, good old Bearscape. Oh, Entomb is in this set too. Yeah, all right, all right, all right. Well, not too bad, not too shabby. Let's move on to Invasion. Invasion is next. Again, this was another one that I like played quite a bit of back in the day, Invasion. So like I had quite a number of these on my shelf, these packs. Now, whether I remember what order they came in the box is another question entirely. You know, I'm gonna have to kind of. So it definitely just the lands are like here-ish. Yeah. So there's the lands. So then that's our what? 1, 2, 3 rares there, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be the uncommons, right? So that looks like commons. Are those uncommons? Yes. All right. So those are that. Those are that. Pull those off of there. That's that. That's that pile. Okay, we got another little like pamphlet to like tell them, hey, you know, I want to like fill out my survey and tell you what's going on. Again, the back of these, it looks like they sort of have just like a standard, like this is the back of all the sheets that come in all these tournament packs. And then on the front, you've got the rules insert, right? So, of course, in Invasion, they added multicolored cards, right? And by that, I mean, they're back! Remember that card color is determined by mana cost? So this card with more than one color mana in their costs are more than one color. For example, Voldaren Zombie mana cost is blue-black. This means that the zombie is blue and black. So, multicolored cards are back, basically, in Invasion. Then we have Kicker, which was a new one added. Kicker is something that, essentially, when you cast the spell, the Kicker cost is an additional cost you can pay to, essentially, have the card do an additional thing when it resolves. Like, when you cast it, or it enters the battlefield, or whatever, right? So, for example, Ardent Soldier is a 1/2 creature card that reads Kicker 2, right? If you paid the Kicker cost, Ardent Soldier comes into play with a 1/1 counter on it. When you play Ardent Soldier, you must pay its mana cost of 1 and a white, and you can choose whether or not to pay the additional 2 for the Kicker for a total of 3 and a white. If you do, the Kicker costs, then you get a 2/3 creature instead of a 1/2. So there you go, there's the example. Then we have split cards. So split cards were introduced in this set, or maybe they're... Yeah, okay, so they're introduced into this set. So you're sure to notice these unusual cards. They look like 2 miniature cards printed side by side. Each half is its own name, type, mana cost, color. The spell's text, these cards are actually 2 spells in one. To play a split card, first you choose which half of the card you are going to play, then you play that spell, normally, ignoring everything else on the other half. So there you go. And then we've got Divvy cards. What the heck is Divvy cards? Several Invasion cards instruct a player to separate some cards into 2 piles. Oh, okay, so this is not an actual keyword. Divvy cards is just something that, again, they used to essentially explain how the mechanic worked. So Divvy cards, you know, like things like Gifts Ungiven and all that kind of stuff, where it's like you separate it into 2 piles and then one person picks one and then so on and so forth. The Invasion Djinns. So there are 5 Djinns, 1 for each color in this set. Each of them is a big creature that gets a little smaller if its color is the most common color. Yeah. And then domain cards. Some Invasion cards have an effect that depends on how many basic land types you control. Domain was a fun mechanic. So domain, I don't think that so in this they have domain cards. They don't actually have it as a keyword yet, I don't believe. I don't believe. Now, we can double check that once we go through the cards, but I think the domain keyword came in a little bit later. Anyway, let's look at the lands first, I guess, because the lands are always pretty spicy, pretty nice looking. I love this land. It's one of my favorite forest arts. Like these random trees. This takes me back, because these are the lands that I played with a lot back in the day. There's your John Avon forest, right? People will probably recognize that pretty extensively, right? It's a very popular forest art from back in the day. I don't know if that land is specifically worth anything, but this island, This island is like iconic for me. There was so many of these islands being played at the table that I was at, and you could always tell when it was someone was playing an island if they had those in play. So we'll scan one of these John. Oh, a foil John Avon Forest. Yes. I was just gonna say, I was like, let's scan the John Avon Forest and see if it's over $1. It is in fact over $1. Let's make it foil. How about foil? What's that set it to? $6 for that John Avon Forest foil. That's sweet. That's awesome. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah. Alright, again, I mean, like, these basic lands are not... These ones aren't as high as the planes from Odyssey, but, like, still, they're over $1. So, I mean, we'll put them into the pile for now and see how it goes. Wow, that's super cool. I was not expecting a foil John Avon Forest, let me tell you. Alright, cool. So, I mean, like... And you get, like, a foil land in these packs pretty often, I would say. Like, I mean, if you look back at all the ones we've opened so far, there's been a fair amount of foil lands opened. Anyway, in here, in Invasion, in Commons, I don't think we had too many. Yeah. So, in Commons, it's Opt. Opt is the only one, really, you know, of major value. All the other ones are under 40 cents. This art really takes me back. Because I played a lot during Invasion. Explosive Growth, yeah. Recoil, this was one of my favorite cards back in the day, too. Recoil is a fun card, because it's a 3-mana instant that returns a permanent to their hand, and then they discard a card. So if they don't have any cards in hand, you can just basically make them discard whatever's on the table. So it's basically like a removal spell. Cursed Flesh, Rampant Elephant, Scorching Lava, Stormscape Apprentice, Serpentine Kavu, Soulburn, Razorfoot Griffin. I remember this card. Saw a lot of play. And then also got reprinted a bunch. Pouncing Kavu, Scavenging Weaponry, Irrigated Ditch. Good old Irrigated Ditch. Vishino Grappler. Hey, there's the Opt. There's the original Opt, right? I think is this the original printing of Opt? So it's like 96 cents. That's kind of cool. Korean, and it's going to be in standard again, because it's in Throne of Eldraine, right? Opt. So that technically standard legal. Korean Sentinel. Fire Screamer. Protective Sphere. Slimy Kavu. Tinder Farm. And we're on to uncommons now. So in the uncommon section, we've got a bunch of stuff worth over $10. And by that I mean there's two specifically that are over $10. They're both enchantments. Aura Shards and Sterling Grove. And then we have Fact or Fiction, Tangle, Chaotic Strike, and Wash Out. So Skyweaver, not so much. Mightweaver, also not so much. Trollhorn Cameo. There you go. Makes green or red. Very inefficient nowadays. Back then, actually not bad fixing. Dredge. Oh, there's a split card. There you go. Pain and Suffering. The old school split cards are really cool looking. Mainly because it's literally just that, and they just shrunk it down and flipped it sideways, which is kind of cool. Hate Weaver. So we've got 3 of the Weavers now. Nice. There's our first Jin. The white Jin. Yeah. So 6 mana Jin, 5/5 first strike. And it gets -2/-2 as long as white is the most common color among all permanents, or is tied for the most common. We got a Cinder Shade. So it doesn't look like we hit any of the uncommons, unfortunately. Lava Dart. Lava Dart's a fun card. Alright. But we didn't hit Aura Shard, Sterling Grove, Fact or Fiction, Tangle, Chaotic Strike, or Washout. Oh! Well, I spoke too soon, I guess. There's our Fact or Fiction. And then we're on to rares. Alright. So Fact or Fiction is worth like $4, so that's nice. It'll go in the patron pile. Callous Giant. A 4/4 for 6. If a source would deal 3 damage or less to Callous Giant, prevent that damage. Interesting. So it only dies if it's going to take 4 or more, which is... I guess it prevents it from getting burned out. I guess that's the idea. Like, you can't burn it with multiple spells because it prevents the damage. Pyre Zombie, 2/1 Rakdos Zombie. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Pyre Zombie is in your graveyard, you may pay 1 and double black. If you do, return it from your graveyard to your hand. Pay 1 and double red, sacrifice Pyre Zombie. Pyre Zombie deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Ooh, and we got an Urza's Filter. I don't know whether that's anything specific, but Pyre Zombie, not so great, 25 cents. But Urza's Filter seems like a cool card. 4 mana, multicolored spells cost up to 2 less to play. Alright. What's that? $6. There you go. I figured it would be. I mean, with a name like Urza and an ability like that, seems pretty good. So, I mean, overall, not terrible. We got a bunch of stuff to add to the patron pile, which is always good to do. And we got to, I got to relive some super sweet memories for myself, to be honest. And that sweet foil John Avon Forest is just, awesome. I mean, technically, actually, I guess it was the most expensive card we opened this week, which is fine with me. We hit 3 foils out of 2 boxes, which is pretty cool. And we got 2 of those planes and technically 3 John Avon for us, which is pretty nice. And then we got a bunch of commons, uncommons worth adding into the patron pile, which is nice. And then we got these sweet some sweet rares too. So I mean, hey, I'll take it. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you again, Mo, for just allowing me to have your playmat and put all this together and show off what you have, because holy moly, you have so much. And if you haven't checked out his shop, make sure you go check out his shop. Link below in the description. He does ship to everywhere in North America. So check him out. Thanks so much, everyone. And as always, may your pulls ever be better.